Morning guys, James Vandenberg here, and we are going to do our first installment of training your dog to find sheds here this morning. This is Scout. He is officially 3 months old as of a couple days ago, and I've had him for a full month now, and the intention is for him to be a shed dog here come this spring. Let's keep it clear here, I am not a dog trainer. I grew up with dogs. I have never trained a dog though. I've read a couple books, I've watched videos, but I just wanted to show kind of how easy this process is. If you really want to train your dog to find sheds, I think you can train almost any dog to do it. The key to this whole process, the #1 aspect is you got to do a lot of reps with them. Me and Scout have the same routine every morning and every night. Usually I base it around when I'm going to feed him. He tends to work a little more right before I feed him, and so every morning and every night we'll just do 5 minutes worth of exercises, and that really builds after you do it for 2, 3, 4 weeks. And now I've got him to the point to where he understands a lot of the things that are going on when it comes to finding this shed. The first thing, I guess, the first step in teaching them to find sheds is making an antler their toy. Now this antler is a little big. This is what I've got him on now. We started with this little antler. This was his toy. The first day he came home, the first thing he was allowed to chew on, you know, puppies like to chew a lot. The first thing I stuck in his mouth was this, and it just stuck. You can see he's ate this thing almost halfway through here. The other thing I did from the very beginning is I put this rack wax on that antler, just associating that smell that every time he wanted to play, hey, quit, buddy. Every time he wanted to play, he'd associate that smell and that antler. That was for the first week. All we'd do is I'd make him chew on this antler. He'd come nip at my shorts, nip on the couch. We'd put this antler in his mouth with the rack wax, and it seemed to work really well. This is the only thing he'll chew on anymore. The second thing we did, step 2 I guess in the process, is starting the soft games of fetch. The big keys to that are keeping it small and somewhere where he can't get away. A hallway is perfect. You only have to toss it a couple yards, and he's going to want to go get it. And if you're in a hallway, he's got to bring it back to you. The reason it works so well in the hallway the first time is that there's no distractions. If you toss it 3 or 4 feet, he's got 2 walls and you to come back to with that antler, and it keeps him really focused in on the drill. When I first started playing fetch with him, 3 or 4 reps was maximum. After 3 or 4, almost every time he'd lose interest and want to go do something else. Now we've generally built that up to where we can throw it for 20 minutes now and he'll keep going and getting it. But as a puppy, remember, they have a very short attention span, and they're going to want to change subjects all the time, if you will. So keeping it short, to the point, and having good reps is more important than doing it for an hour. Step 3 now, I guess, where we're at, is we're getting more into the obedience of sit, stay, find. I always use the words find the bone. In step 3, what I've got him doing is I'll make him sit here, almost mark it. I just say stay, but some people use the word mark, and I'll toss this antler. First, I started tossing it where he could see it land. Stay. I'd make him sit there for a second. Scout, go get it. He'd go grab it. Now we've graduated to the point to where I try to toss it to where he can't see it land. As you saw earlier, I tossed it up in the bushes. I'll toss it up against the fence. I'll toss it down in the bottom part of my yard, just to where he has to go search for a half second in order to find this bone. That's basically what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to drive that process that he's got to look. When he hears find the bone, he needs to associate it with looking for that bone. I still use the rack wax. We've gone up to a little bigger antler, but you can see this antler is missing a point, so it makes it a lot safer for when, I mean, the guy's only 10, 11 weeks old, maybe 11 and a half weeks, I guess. With no point here, he can't stab himself in the face, so we almost always have a good experience. It's a little harder for him to maneuver, but he almost seems to like this big bone now more than his small bone. Those are basically the 3 main steps of starting your dog off. Like I said, I've had him for a month, and you can see what he's doing. What we're going to do now in month 2 of having him is really getting that search phase out. So we're going to move into some silhouette drills, to where we're not playing as fetch as much as we are just looking for a bone every time I tell him to find the bone. So that's what we're going to move into next. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video and get something out of it. I can't reiterate enough that anybody can do this, and it does not take a superhuman dog. Scout's been awesome to work with, but he's made as many mistakes as anybody else. It's all about reps and just encouraging him, and really positive encouragement when he does do it right. They'll catch on. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 2.